let's go over how we can create a system where we can basically automatically render cinematics and then maybe change some properties and stuff like that. I used this system to basically automatically generate like NFTs, stuff like that. You can basically use it for images or videos. So that's kind of the main use, at least for me. So let me show you how I did that. So first we need editor utility widget. So everything that I'm going to do with this is in editor. And then we just basically automatically play the cinematic. So let's see how we can name it. Let's say auto render. And I'm gonna be treating a little bit, looking at my other project where I have everything done, just in case so I don't forget anything. Let's see, first we need a button. This is basically what we're gonna press. Let's add text also. For text, let's say start render. And then for the button, we're just gonna create on clicked. Okay, first thing that we're going to need is load asset. And this should be just the location of our cinematic. So let's create a level sequence. Let's name it main render sequence. And then we need copy file path. I think this is it. Let's see. What? Nope. Is it this one then? Okay, this is it. So let's go back in here. And then we can paste this here. Now in my main project, this is kind of more automated. I use variable here and then I expose that variable. So basically I can just change it in the editor when I go into this. Let me save this. So if I go into this, there's like a text box. I can write or paste any cinematic. So it's way easier than going into code and changing this. But for now, we're just going to use this. It even makes it a bit more readable. Then we're going to type is valid or just valid. Do we have to use this? I guess. Yeah, just to not do anything if it doesn't exist. We can also throw an error or something so we know where this failed. Then we need to cast the level sequence if it is valid. And the next thing is to open it. So this is just open it. This is basically just open it like if you double clicked it in the editor. And after that, we have to construct. Okay, we need to construct this thing. I think this is mainly for the render settings, so we're gonna edit that. So let's say set settings. We are basically kind of trying to automate like what we would do if we wanted to render this. So we would open our level sequence, we would click render, we would go through settings and then click render, and that's about it. So that's what we're doing. So let's click split settings, and here if you rendered anything ever, you will be familiar with this. But we don't have too much things in here. Let me see in the other project. So first let's do file format. So what I use in my main project is just, how can I say this? So I use render count. So I could just say this is like the fifth iteration of this render, and I can name it number 5 or something, or just use prefix or suffix 5. But let me see what I can get in here. We can use something like this. Let me just see. can we get? Yeah, this is fine. We can just use some random thing. I mean, this is just your name, how you want to format things. We're just gonna use seconds. Next thing we need to do is, we also have this one. I'm doing this real time, so I'm experimenting a bit. So in the other project, I basically did it like this. I just took like times. I think firstly I did with render count, but then I just took time and get a unique time when it was rendered. And this is kind of also how you can track exactly when this finished rendering. So what I did is just took each one of these and then appended it to a string and then attached it here. But fuck it for now, we don't need to use that. So next one, we need this. This is output directory. And let me see where it is. This is fine. So this is basically, it automatically found where my project is. So that is fine. Let's see if we have anything here. Oh yeah, we can do this one. So enable this one if they're not enabled. And we have the resolution and frame rate. Okay, this bugs out sometimes. Say 1920 by 180. That all should be fine. Let's not play around too much with this. Okay, let me see what the next one is. Okay, for my other project, I have like a custom plugin for generating JSON files. This kind of helps keeps track of traits and stuff like that, since I was doing art for NFTs, so they have like special thing that they need, but we don't need that. Who cares about that? So, should be. Oh, it's from this one. Render movie, and this is basically where we are gonna do our stuff. Can I? I can't. So we have render finished. Okay, so we are gonna render our cinematic, then we are gonna activate this event when it ends. And one little thing that I'm gonna do here is just use branch in here. Let's do a bit of logic to basically check how many basically renders we want. So let's type render count. Let's do integer. Let's name. Let's do current render. Maybe we can do the logic in here. If the current render is equal, let's just do greater equal, then render count, we're gonna stop rendering. If this is true, we are not rendering. If it's false, we are rendering. Let me see. Maybe you want to flip this so it's on true, but yeah, doesn't matter. So we have an error here. Okay. Yeah, I forgot how I did this. Can I do add event? Okay, I think this will work. Okay, it works. Yeah, I knew there was something with this, since you can't use custom event. So let's do this. If it's successful, we are gonna let's see. So before all of this, let's just set current render to 0. So this is gonna happen once when you click the button. It's gonna be set to 0, and then we are going to loop things. So now that we have that set to render 0, and we have the check in here. If it's successful, we're gonna get the current render and click plus on this, add one, bam, bam. And if it succeeds, we also want it to start from this point basically. So let's create custom event. Hopefully that's how you write it. Okay. Bam. So we're gonna do something like this. Hopefully this works. Yeah, so let's review the logic. We click the button to render, we set current render to 0, so it starts from 0. We check if the current render is equal or greater to the render count. So for this, I'm not going to expose this, but yeah, we're going to figure out how we can set this to some number later. We load our sequence, we cast two-level sequence so we can get some options, we open it, we get it ready for rendering to customize our settings. We render it, when the render finishes, it checks if it's true or not, or if it's successfully finished. If it did, we just add the one to current render and then iterate the render and check if we are came to the limit. Okay, now we need a few things here, which would be text box. I'm not gonna bother making this look pretty or something. And on text changed. And on text changed, we want to set our render to this, but we need to convert it to string. And then this in here. Okay. And this should honestly be it. Let me see. Yeah, fuck it, let's try it. Okay, so to open this, let me save this. We're just gonna click here, run editor, and here you can write 5, and now it's set to 5 in there. But we cannot click start render since we don't have anything. Actually, it might even work with nothing, but let's actually create something. Create the camera that moves. And let's create it way shorter since we don't want to wait. Honestly, it won't be long, but still, why wait? And we have this. Let's save. And I'm also gonna show you another trick after this, if this works properly. So yeah, let's click start. Not sure if it worked. I don't think so, but yeah, let's see. I'm gonna go into the saved, and we don't have capture, so let's see why it's not working. So we have current render. If it's greater or equal to this, then render count. So this all should be fine. Level sequence, I'm just gonna check my other projects. Seems fine. Let's see. No, this is valid branch. Let's just skip that, see if that works. I'm just not sure about that because it's different in my other project. So still not working. This may take some time. So why can't I do the other valid check? Let's see, we have this, we have automated this. Oh, I think I missed one thing here, okay. Let's see. So we need set level sequence asset. So I think I forgot to do this to specify which is the actual asset. And in here we have the asset. I think this is the same thing, yeah. So I'm not even sure why I'm doing this 2 times. Maybe something in here is unnecessary, I'm not sure. Let's try it now. Okay, it's rendering for me. I'm gonna move it here. Oh yeah, it's moving to my other monitor every time. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Where did it save? Oh yeah, in my project. Where was it? Yeah, nope. And here it is. So we have 5 of them, which basically I don't show much. But you can see we can kind of automatize where we literally rendered 5 of them. And you can see here like how long it took basically for each one. So it takes about a second for this video to render, which is accurate. Now let's do another interesting thing. So how would we render images? If we go in here, let me move all of this a bit here, so we have some space, since everything that happens in here for images. So we have this protocol type where we can change from a video to image, and in here we can do image sequence protocol PNG. Now that is fine, but I think we need to change this to PNG also. And also we need to change our sequence, since if you have, wait, am I opening this? Is it open? Since it's rendering images, if you render this, it'll be just 30 images. So we need to create, so if you're creating just an image, you would need something like this. And for Android, this might be a problem since some lighting and post-processing effects need some time to activate, so there is kind of warm-up time, but let's just try to render this. Let's do 3 images. So as you can see, we got 3 images, and yet they are not that good quality. So let me show you what we can do here. Let me open this again. So we have our image sequence. Now let's do before this. What we can do is also, if you're familiar with this is basically letting Unreal take some time before rendering the image. So let's do 20 frame counts. And we also need, for warm up, let's say 0.5. So this will of course delay rendering, but that's fine. Then we need what one? I got double clicked. Visual Studio is opening. My only weakness. Okay, get the fuck out. Okay, that's fine. Let's do 0.5 here also. Do we need anything else? Let me just click on the render so I can see some options in here. Warm up frame, delay every frame. Can we do that? If we can do that, that will fix everything, I think. Let's see. Yeah, let's do 0.5. So you're gonna have good 2 seconds before it renders each image, but it should be way cleaner. So let's try this. Okay, so let's do 3 images. Seems similar. It should have helped, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of it. So to bring it back to the video, what you would do is this you can leave for images and the videos, since you need some warm up from the engine. Especially this is basically just for the start, and then this does it every frame. So if you have particles or stuff like that, this will screw everything up, so you will remove this. But if you do not, this can make every frame higher quality. So putting this to 0.1 or 2 should be fine. For now, I'm gonna use 3, and let's say 10. And I'm gonna quickly improvise a bit and try to show you how you can, every frame, how you can change some stuff. So let's say that we have, should we do an image? Let's just do an image. Yeah, this is just gonna make it easier, since I just want to show how things can change. So let me put a cube in here. And let's see how we can reference this. Yeah, I'm not sure how we can reference this cube directly. I think we are gonna have to create a new blueprint class, name it item, and let's see. In here I'm gonna add a cube. And now what we can do is in here, let's say get all actors of class. Let's do item. And now we can kind of manipulate this object in here. Let's do we have any materials? Maybe we can just create a material list. Let's do, I'm just gonna do a random thing. You can do move objects, spawn or respawn. I'm just gonna try to swap the materials. Let's do array. Let's do 3 different materials. Which one can we use? Sure, arrow material. Tracker material. Okay. And then let's say get static, get component by class. Then we need static mesh components, and then set material. So we are basically taking the components, we are trying to search for this, which is static mesh component, inside of this item. After that, we are setting the material of its index 0, since it only has one material, so element 0 is index 0. And then we are choosing the material, and we can just get a copy, and we can do, or can we do a random? Yeah, random array element. Just take any of them and put it in here. So every time we render, we should get a random. And we should actually activate this at the start. So let's do it like, if this is true, let's do it in here. So we can do a function for this. Call it random material. And if we basically are okay, we need to render new iteration, we're just going to randomize the material. Let's see if this works. Okay, I don't need you, but I do need you. So 3 again. Do we have this object? Nope. For some reason we don't have this object, I'm not sure why. But the colors are changing. Why is this? Let's add the delay. It's something with rendering just one frame, it screws it up. I forgot how I fixed it in the other project, but let's do another two. Wait, are we even looking through the same lens? Oh, we are not even looking through the same lens. Oh my god, okay. So let's do this. Let's delete all of these. Wait, where is the... okay. Bada bim. Okay. Now that we have this, let's try again. So let's run this, do two of them. And yeah, now we see them. Yeah, the quality is so trash when you do just one frame. But let's actually then do the video, since it's such a bad resolution. So we need AVI, and we need to just disable it. This we don't need this. So we would do something like this. Okay. And for the sequence, we need to change this to, let's say, sure, here. And let's do one more thing. Let's do this, just make it move a bit. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Just so I can see something. And let's click run. We should see all three of them, hopefully. I think one of them is invisible, I'm not sure. I just looked at the... yeah, one of materials, I don't think it works. But the rest of them work. The tracker material is going crazy. But yeah, one of the materials, it's the... let's see where it is. It's this material doesn't work, I think. Alpha composite, yeah, I'm not sure if that would work. Let's change it. Let's do basic material 2. Let's do another 6. He loves the orange one. Can we get one of the... oh, this is the new one, the chrome material. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Rendering automatically your sequences.